Hey gang, Cheri here, and welcome to this edition of Travel Talk. Welcome everyone. If you're new to the channel, I am a travel agent from the St. Louis area, and I am celebrating my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. Yay! I'm so excited and happy to be here. I've made such excellent friends, and I'm just so excited. This is my show, Travel Talk. We talk about all kinds of vacation, cruise, and Disney news, all kinds of travel tips and deals. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and like and share us out so we can grow our awesome family. So, like I said, to celebrate my 1-year anniversary, I have on today a very special guest, my new friend, Alanna Zingano. Welcome, Alanna.
Thank you, Cheri. How's everybody doing? Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited that you are celebrating your 1-year anniversary. That is such an awesome thing to celebrate. First of all, I know that it's not easy being on YouTube, and I'm glad that we've met through this medium, and that we're here to celebrate your anniversary. And you always have great tips and things like that. So I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, I want to welcome some people in the channel. So we've got some people in the chat. Juan, welcome. Chris from Disney World Adventures, welcome. Raphael, hi, cameraman. And Angela, oh, thank you so much, Angela. Pirate Princess Red we have. All right, awesome, you guys. Welcome. Pusha, hello, Pusha Studios. Welcome. Nurse Nancy, hello Nancy. And Sandra D's Adventures. You guys, we have some great channels on here today, so if you have not yet, please check them out. There's Alanna and her channel, so click on her name and subscribe to all of our fantastic channels we have in here today. So welcome. Alanna, I tell you what, the first time I saw your one of your videos, it was when you did the Walking in Walt's Footsteps series.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited. I saw it on there, and I saw from Marceline, Missouri, and I was like, I'm from Missouri. So I clicked on it, and I was just so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, that is such an amazing adventure that you went on. And I was like, I went in and I checked out your channel, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like a girl after my own heart, someone that loves Disney and cruising as much as I do. I was so excited, and I'm so excited to have you on today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, I think everyone in chat might know me already, but if not, my name is Alanna. My channel is Alanna Zingano. And I, just like Cheri says, I have a love of travel for Disney and cruising and everything a little bit in between. So I kind of just say that my channel is about cruising, Disney, and weekend getaways. And I love to hit the road and experience something new. So, we do frequent the parks, Disney World parks and Disneyland and cruises as often as we can, and we just love to share all of our experiences on YouTube, and we really have a blast with it. So I'm so happy that when you said, oh, someone else who loves cruising and Disney just as much as I do, and it's so awesome because celebrating an anniversary and realizing all the friends, like everyone in chat here that we've gotten to know, and everyone else as well, there are a lot of us that do enjoy exactly that. So it's really awesome to make these connections and celebrate your anniversary and just have a blast with it. So we're enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely, and we enjoy your videos so very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and then you had on some of the Imagineers from Disney. Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. And then you had on Super Mario. Oh my gosh, tell us a little bit about Super Mario.
Yeah, sure. So Super Mario, for anyone who doesn't know, that is his nickname. Mario Salcido is one of Royal Caribbean's top cruisers. He lives on the Royal Caribbean cruise ships full time, and I was lucky enough to befriend him. We've been on a couple cruises now. with him. And on our last cruise with him, we were able to sit down and pick his brain and learn about what his life is like while living on all of Royal Caribbean's fleet. So incredibly fascinating to learn the ins and outs of what it's like to live on a cruise ship, and let alone be doing it for the last 20 years. So he shared some fantastic stories with us, and just absolutely a fun interview. And we're looking into very soon doing a follow-up interview because everyone had so many fantastic questions about the logistics. And, I want to emulate this lifestyle even further than what we got into in the interview. So we're working on that in the near future. So excited for a follow-up because
oh wow,
quite the fan base. Everyone, it's just so funny because everyone's like, Mario needs his own Instagram and blog and everything, and we're like, yeah, he does.
for sure.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Yes, yes. And so I understand that you hit a little bit of a milestone this week.
Yes, I've been having some great success. So yesterday, I actually just posted a certificate of hitting 1 million views. So yeah, it's crazy. Really fun to experience that. These milestones are sneaking up on me that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But I'm just very thankful for.
Your channel has just taken off like a rocket, and I'm so proud of you. Awesome.
Thank you. Oh, look at that. In the chat, we have D&G Explorers, our other Disney Cruiser fans. What's going on? Sandra D. Welcome, guys. Nurse Nancy. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here. The Lucky Minute.
The Lucky Minute. Vivian, welcome, you guys.
The studios. Thank you for the balloons. Thank you.
So amazing to have you guys here today. And yes, congratulations on the 1 million views. That is so awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your latest adventure. I did the hop on, hop off bus in Jamaica, but you took hop on, hop off to a whole new level. Tell us about your back-to-back cruises here.
For a second, just because you said Jamaica, I was like, oh, are you talking about where I hopped on a bus and then hopped off and then was stuck? But no, you're just talking.
I saw that one too. A little stranded, were you?
So for anyone who doesn't know, I went on a cruise in January, and one of our excursions was to Jamaica, and we had some car trouble, and we were, like, no exaggeration, stranded on the side of the road without our tour guide, our taxi driver, van driver, whatever you want to call them. So that's what I thought she was bringing up, but that's a whole other vlog. But
you gotta watch the video to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate, in all seriousness. But we were safe and everything. Luckily, I don't know. I look back on that and I'm like, I must have had some serious guardian angels looking out after me, because things could have went so wrong. But luckily, we were very safe, and I felt safe the whole time. But we'll talk about that at another time. Let's talk about the upcoming or the recent stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, you said back to back. So interestingly, I know a couple of people in chat here, like Nurse Nancy, are OG cruisers as well. And I didn't even know that I wasn't on a back-to-back, but I was on a side-to-side.
Side to side. That's what she said.
I love being schooled on terminology. So,
I
know. So much to learn, even, from me cruising a lot. There's always like terminology and fun things. So technically I went on a side-to-side cruise. So what that means is I went on one cruise with Norwegian, and that was on the Norwegian Getaway, and then we just walked down the port of Miami and jumped on a different cruise line and a different ship, and we went on the Royal Caribbean Navigator of the Seas. So we were cruising I was cruising for 12 days, and I had an absolute blast, and I can't believe it's over.
Yeah, and now you have to come back to reality, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, tell us a little bit. You said you went on, which two ships did you go on now?
Yes, so we went on the Norwegian Getaway and the Royal Caribbean Navigator of the Seas.
Okay. Yeah, so not even the same cruise line. I mean, come on. That's awesome.
But that's what I like to do. I like to switch it up, and I'm very open about saying and explaining that I don't have brand loyalty. Like, all about me is to experience what everything has to offer, see all the differences, compare and contrast. And then that way, when I share my experiences, I can say, well, Carnival does this, Royal Caribbean does this, Norwegian does this, Disney does this, etc. And that way, not everyone can try every cruise line, but it's not really helping my loyalty status.
Yeah, your points.
My point status with each cruise line, but I do get the really fun advantage of comparing and contrasting everything and seeing who does what really well. And not everybody can be perfect at everything. There's twerks and things to everything, so really fun.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I did a video recently about that as well, because we just recently took our first Royal Caribbean cruise. We've always been Carnival cruisers, so it is a lot of fun to compare the different cruise lines. I'll ask you a little bit of more about that later.
Sure.
But so how long was each cruise?
Yes, so the Norwegian cruise was 7 days, and the Royal Caribbean was 5.
Okay. So do you have a preference of the shorter cruises or longer cruises, or does it make any difference to you?
Well, the shortest I've ever been on was a 4-day. That was a Royal Caribbean cruise. That was my very first Royal Caribbean cruise, and the rest have just ranged from 4, 5, and 7. I've been on more 5s than anything else, and I think just being on a cruise for 12 days, like in a row, that was a unique experience, even though it was 2 different ships. I think it was a good warm up for me to try a transatlantic or some future back-to-backs, because, it's like, okay, I can make it past that 12-day mark. A lot of times people will just lose their minds of, oh, if you don't like cruising, or, 7 days is a lot of fun, but then I like to get my land legs back, enough of the sea legs. Everyone's different, but a transatlantic can be like 14 days. So I definitely think I can continue the journey longer. 12 days was good for me. I was good to go for a few more, except the only thing that was really at the end of that trip, I was like, I really need to do laundry. I didn't do any laundry on the ships. I brought enough to get through without having to do it. And I was just like, I could go for more, but the only thing was I would need to do some laundry.
I have to do some laundry first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So you're just kind of pacing yourself, maybe trying to prepare yourself for a transatlantic cruise maybe someday?
Maybe someday in the future. Never say never. No plans yet, but definitely knowing that I would be okay.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good way to do it. It's always good. I say if you've never cruised before, you're a little apprehensive about it. Yeah, start with the shorter cruises and work your way up. We totally did that. We did the 3-day, then the 5-day, and then the 7-day. And I enjoyed the 7 days so much. I really never thought that I would enjoy sea days, but I really do. I love the sea days where just relax and sit in the hot tub and just lay out in the sun. And this time I did a water aerobics in the morning, and that was so refreshing and nice. And I tell you what, hats off to Royal, because their pools were actually warm at 9 o'clock in the morning, because I was a little concerned.
Yeah.
But it was warm, it was nice, it was great. So okay, so which ports did you go to?
Well, on the first cruise, we went to, let me jog my memory here. First cruise, we went to Roatan, Honduras. Then we went to Harvest Key. Harvest Key is Norwegian's private destination. And then we went to Cozumel and Costa Maya.
Oh, wow. So
And
those are some different ports.
yeah, I've actually been to everyone except Harvest Key. So fun on that. And then on the next one, we went to Nassau, and I'm having a brain
Brain
fart
freeze.
here. Nassau, and where did we go?
You'll think of it in a minute.
I'm confused.
I know they all run together, don't they?
They do, because it was so long, and it's funny when you're on the cruises that you don't realize like what day it is, and like
Yeah.
the days go by fast.
They really do. I'm
Yeah.
like, why is that? The days drag when you're at home, and when you're on a cruise, they're just like boom.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Raphael, cameraman, mentioned it in the chat. Montego Bay. Yeah.
Oh,
And that was what we were talking about in the beginning, was that I had a much better experience when I went back to Jamaica second time around. But before I go off on a little tangent here, I just noticed in chat we have some really amazing announcements. 2 people are playing twinsies and are going on Alaskan cruises.
what?
Yeah, Nurse Nancy, she's going on an Alaskan cruise, and so is Sandra D, and they're going with their family. You guys, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. I've never been on an Alaskan cruise. I don't know, Cheri, have you?
No, that's definitely on our bucket list, though.
For sure, my bucket list as well. You guys, tell us more. That is so exciting.
Yes.
Take
Well,
us with you, please.
yes, really. Yeah, take us with you, and then definitely tell us all about it when you get back, right?
Yeah, please. Yes, that's so much fun. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Now, did you all do any shore excursions on your port days, or just kind of winged it?
Yeah, we actually had a little bit more of a plan this time around. So in Roatan, I used Let's Go Roatan Tours, and fantastic. LES is the tour guide that owns that company, and he was our private tour guide. And I was actually editing that video yesterday, so it's all fresh in my memory. But we had an awesome time. I got to hold sloths and monkeys and see all around of Roatan. But you know what was really great about this tour is, people will talk about whether or not to do a tour with the cruise line or third party private company. And, I had a great experience, and I can see the pros and cons and benefits to however you choose to book an excursion. But what I really loved about this was the hospitality, for one. And Roatan currently is going through a ton of construction, and it's honestly like very, you have to be very time sensitive of whatever your excursion is because of the intense construction. So what Elias did was he basically like re-engineered our excursion. So everyone generally goes like one-minded thinking here of like, let's drive around the island this way, and and then it causes all this construction. Well, smart guy, knows his way around the island, a local, back of his hand type deal. And he's like, you know what? I know the construction's really bad. I don't want you guys to sit in the car for an hour just sitting there in traffic when it should take, 15, 20 minutes to get there. And he literally went the other way around. We saw the entire island, and we left at like, I don't know, an hour and a half after we ported. So we weren't like the first ones off, rushing to get off. It was like, okay, have our breakfast, get off. And we had an awesome tour. And I just really appreciated that, because later in that day on that excursion, when we got to the beach, of course, I'm a talker. Okay. So I was just chatting up with other people that I was meeting on the beach. I met some really awesome people. They had 2-for-1 margaritas on the beach, and they're like, I can't drink this here. And then, okay, best friend.
You're my new best friend.
So I was like, well, cheers. Okay, let's chat. And, but no, they were great. But they were explaining how they literally sat in the car for an hour to get to the beach, and it just like made me so thankful that I had this tour with him, because he really knew, aside from the tour being amazing with the history and culture and going to all these other places and not having to sit in the car for an hour, we were able to enjoy so much. Like, for example, just like the smart engineering of making a tour work for you. We took a water taxi. Like, he had 2 drivers, and we took a water taxi to, I'm sorry, I just realized my computer's not plugged in. 30 seconds, let me grab my cord.
Oh no, we don't want to die. Well, welcome everyone. You guys, so happy to have you here today. Like I said, I am just so excited to meet every single one of you. Happy to have you here today. I know we have some very experienced cruisers and we have some that haven't cruised yet but want to.
Awesome. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. I thought it was plugged in, but it wasn't. So good to go now. So yay. But yeah, I'm glad that we have some experienced cruisers and newbies in the house as well, because we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about too. If you have questions and stuff, stop me on my roll. But yeah, Rotan, fantastic. Basically every excursion or every port we did something and had a bit of an excursion. So it was a blast.
So did you do any kind of like, I don't know, snorkeling or zip lining or anything really adventurous or?
Let's see. So I didn't do the zip line in Harvest Key, but Harvest Key has a very similar zip line that Labadee Haiti does.
Oh.
So if you caught my video on that, I did a video on the longest zip line over water, and that was a blast. And so I had just recently done that. So I was like, well, no, I won't do this zip line. But what other like fun things? I mean, we snorkeled and just like swam in the water and stuff, but we didn't do any scuba diving this time. Raphael's a big scuba diver, but no scuba diving this time. So we enjoyed every port we went to, and
you had good weather, I hope.
Yeah, actually, good weather the entire back-to-back 12 days. I couldn't ask for better weather, honestly. So that was nice.
Yeah, that's always a blessing. We had a little bit of clouds and a little bit of drizzle here and there, but luckily no real true washouts. But see, that's what's so great about on a cruise is even if it's raining outside or something, there's so much to do inside that you never get bored,
Right.
So I love that about it. So tell us about your cabins. Did you do inside, outside, balcony?
Yeah, so oh my goodness, I know I'm like the odd one out here, but we just tried a balcony cabin for the very first time, and I was so blessed that I had balcony cabins on both cruises. So I had the balcony on the Norwegian Getaway and then on the Navigator of the Seas. So that was really fun to compare and contrast the balconies. Raphael and I were talking about our experience actually about a balcony and whether or not we would do it again. And it's so funny because, when I talk to everyone in chat here and, people say that they love balconies and they'll never go back. And I kind of feel like we have the opposite perspective on this. And I'd love to hear yours and everyone else's perspective on this as well, because again, I feel like we're the oddest ones out, but I feel like should just stick with an inside cabin because we are go, go, go. I want to see and do it all. And we are going to all the activities and just having a blast that we don't spend enough time in the cabin, I feel like, to get necessarily our money's worth for a balcony. Now, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's great to open that door and get the fresh air in a stuffy cabin. If I could do that and pay the same price, for sure. But I don't sit out there enough and have my coffee. For some reason, like it didn't like click. Like, I don't know, did I forget that I had a balcony? Like I wasn't hanging out there. And for my perspective, maybe I'll do it again and knowledgeably like, hey, let's spend 15 minutes on the balcony every morning and try and catch a sunrise or a sunset and see if it perks up some more. But I don't know. I guess we just don't spend enough time in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I felt like in the past I've gotten balconies mainly for my hubby because while I'm getting ready, because I take forever to get ready in the morning, and he can go out there and chill out. And he's not a real big on crowds type person, so he likes to that's like his like little getaway where he can be outside and enjoy himself by himself. you know. And then a lot of times, like I've learned to use it a lot more. I think I used it a lot more on this past cruise. And so, because the chairs do kind of fill up sometimes on the decks and stuff. And I was like, well, I've got my own deck, so I just went out on the balcony and caught
Yeah.
some sunshine, and it felt so good. I loved it. So let's go on to the next topic here. How was the food?
Food was incredible. Walking away from that much cruising, I was like, oh, I'm not going to eat for a week.
Yeah,
Because a little lack of self-control, I want to try it all. The
exactly.
food was fantastic. On Norwegian, we tried a lot of specialty restaurants and got to experience what that was like. And on Royal Caribbean, the main dining room food always is impressive. I love when I walk away from a meal and I'm like, oh my God, that was fantastic. When you have a meal and you just are like, this is incredible food. I experienced that with a vegetarian plate. And I was just like, I'm so happy I ordered this. Like, it's very rare because I'm not a picky eater that I'm like, oh, everything's good. But when it's like phenomenal, I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like, I want to order this every single night. So I
Yeah.
had like a very, very good meal one night. So I was like super excited about that. I think it was like eggplant or no, it was polenta. It was a polenta plate, and it blew my mind. So I'm not even vegetarian, but try something different. I don't need a steak every single night, so it was good.
Yeah, that's what I love about a cruise is that you can really switch it up and try new things. And if you don't like it, there's plenty of other food to try.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got a little adventurous this time and tried escargot for the first time. And I was really anxious about it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. And I
Yeah.
wound up loving it.
Really, that's great.
I did. I thought it was fantastic. So
Can I tell
now,
you a secret?
yeah.
Don't
So
tell. Nobody. Okay, this stays between us.
it's just between us.
I've never tried escargot.
No, I had never either.
It's not even like I want to or I don't want to. It's just, I don't know. No one's ever dared me to do it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Where
well
it's
the
like,
dare is on. Dare
not
is on.
not unless we're on the same cruise. Okay.
Okay,
When we do our group
together. Okay,
cruise, that's when I'll try it.
that's the deal. Okay. So did one ship? How did the food compare to the other ship? Did you have a favorite?
Well, I think for main dining room, we ate more times in the main dining room in the Royal Caribbean ship than we did in the Norwegian ship. So for main dining room, I would choose Royal Caribbean. For buffet, I would choose, and these are just these two experiences side by side,
Right.
not every cruise I've done side by side, but just for those. For buffet, I would choose Norwegian. They had some incredible spreads on their buffet
Really?
line. Yeah, so it goes back to every cruise does something different. But I see a question. Pusa Studios wants to know if the food is included on a cruise. And yes, food in the buffet for breakfast and lunch and for dinner in the buffet are free. Main dining room is free. There are specialty restaurants where you pay an upcharge and gratuity on top of that. But that's only if you choose to eat at a specialty restaurant. You can stuff your face and roll yourself off the cruise ship so full of food without ever having to step into a specialty restaurant and spend any more money. So it's all up to how you want to spend your vacation.
Yeah, that's what we normally do. We take advantage of all the free food, and then that leaves extra money for something else, like excursions that we like to do. So you never have to spend money for meals if you don't want to, but you can if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up are the shows. How were the shows and entertainment on board?
Incredible. I walked out of one of the shows on Norwegian and You'll have to catch that in the vlog, but I literally like goosebumps, and I remember saying like, hands down best show I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I was so excited. And afterwards, I was thinking too, I was like, this makes total sense of why Norwegian has won like so many entertainment awards. I was just like, oh, this is incredible as I was watching it. Loved it. And then on the following cruise on the Royal Caribbean, another fantastic show. And that was, I love all like Royal Caribbean shows, but this was a brand new show that just kind of like premiered on that ship, and it's going to be rolling out on others. Incredible. And I was like, this is a really nice step up to some of their other shows that I've seen. So awesome. I was impressed with all of it. Each night isn't a Broadway production show. Sometimes it's just comedy, sometimes it's, you know, magicians, things like that. And then they have like 1 or 2 nights of singing and dancing Broadway style shows. But we always try to make it to every entertainment option of the evening. So I was really impressed with the one show. It's called Burn the Floor on Norwegian. That was awesome. And then on Royal Caribbean, I'm trying to remember what that show was called off the top of my head. I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe Raphael remembers. But also, oh yeah, Raphael was mentioning the Journey tribute. So this was another show that was fantastic. So they are a tribute band to Journey. And now this is the second time I've seen them on Royal Caribbean ships. So much fun. Like everyone knows Journey songs, and if you don't even know them and you're thinking like, oh, I don't know, well, once you hear it, you will know, and
you'll recognize it. Yeah,
you'll recognize it. And like, don't stop believing. I won't sing for you guys because we want you here. We don't want you to leave. But so much fun, and they tour all around. So this was the second time I've seen them on a ship, and they're fantastic. Oh yes, Raphael says it was Showgirls. Yeah, Showgirls was a really fun show on Royal.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Just Pamela. I know you just came in, and Brooke next. I saw you come in. So welcome everyone. Yeah, we were so impressed with, like I said, this was our first Royal Caribbean ship. We had always sailed Carnival, and we were just blown away by the shows. I thought personally the shows were worth the whole price of the whole trip.
Wow, that's incredible.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, and you did the ice skating. You know, we saw you ice skate live on the cruise ship. That was so much fun. But the ice skating show was amazing. They had, you know, the diving shows were amazing and just incredible. They had this one called Up, Up and Away, and we couldn't take video, but I did take some pictures, so I'll be putting out more videos and pictures from our cruise for you guys. But oh my goodness, I was so impressed with their shows, just blown away.
Yeah. I'm glad that you liked their shows as well, and that you were blown away. I mean, you were on an amazing ship as well, the Oasis of the Seas, to experience some incredible shows. So I look forward to seeing more pictures and everything that you have to share, because I have not been on that. So
yeah, we absolutely loved it. Now, hubby said that, you know, he decided he likes Carnival better, but
really?
But then he did say that he would like to try other cruise lines as well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what that brings.
That's really interesting. Side note there, you should really have hubby on, and I'd love to hear, you know, his perspective, because I feel like you're like not agreeing with him. But we'll have to tune in for that.
Yeah, you know, he liked the food, he said, better on Carnival, and the bed and the bedding. So, but yeah. So, you know, to each his own, and that's why, you know, there's so many different cruise lines out there to choose from, and makes it so exciting to, you know, try different ships and different cruise lines, because even different ships, you know, in the same cruise line, you know, is totally different. Now, what kind of activities did you do on the ship? I saw some amazing video that you did of the water slides. Tell us about all that.
Oh, yeah. So the Navigator of the Seas just went through what they call a royal amplification. So it's just a remodel, but it's an extensive $100 million remodel. So they put a ton of money into the remodel, and we have two incredible new water slides, the Blaster and the Riptide. Okay, guys, if you don't know, I am the biggest kid at heart. You know, I love Disney. I love being a kid. I had such a blast. We went on the water slides back to back to back as much times as we could, and just so much fun. I have one video where it's POV, so it's point of view of both of us going down the water slides, and I just can't wait to go back.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were having a blast.
Yeah, we did have a blast. And so your cruise also had some really fun activities, though, with like the flow rider and the zip line. I know you didn't try the zip line, but did you try the flow rider or any other
Oh,
slide?
no,
No?
I'm not trying to get injured like that. No. But it was very fun to watch, And I was really surprised how they had the instructors to come out, and they really did work with the people to help them, try to stand up on those boards. And a lot of them did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, so excited to see the people actually standing up on those boards. But then a lot of them, on the other side, they would do the bodyboarding, which that looked really, really fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I wanted to do the zip line, but the winds were just too high. And so hubby said no on that. That was a no-go. So,
Yeah.
and hey, welcome, Mouse Talk. Hello, welcome.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here. Yeah, the flow rider is incredible. I will have a couple different videos on the flow rider that you'll see us doing it in our vlogs, but also a whole other instructional video of what you need to know about the flow rider. And they're a fun activity. They're on a lot of ships, so especially Royal Caribbean ships. So you'll check out that coming soon as well.
Oh, so you're saying that you did try it?
Oh yes, I did the flow rider. Oh yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, the flow rider is awesome. I'm not any good at it, so don't expect to see like crazy tricks from me. But yeah, I go on it. I have fun with it. Haven't tried the stand up yet because they say to try like the bodyboarding first, and then like once you kind of master that, then you can try stand up boarding. I'd love to know in chat if anyone has done the flow rider, and if you have any crazy skills, let us know. Give us your hints, because
how many adventurous folks do we have on our chat today? Well, I think that was on a different ship, but I also liked the bungee jumping thing that you did with the virtual reality. That looked awesome.
Yes, the virtual reality bungee jump is actually been in the news a little bit lately. A young gentleman got hurt on it. It's super unfortunate and very, very sad. But when I did it, I had a lot of fun. Obviously because I didn't get hurt. But if you're unfamiliar with what that is, you are in. I just see a comment from Just Pamela saying, I hope I wore a one piece. And I know you're talking about the flow rider because it whips you back up. And I will get back to the bungee trampoline in 2 seconds. Let me just have a quick little sidebar here that I think you all will enjoy. Mm-hmm. When we were standing in line for the water slides, you have a great view of the flow rider looking down. And at one point when there was a line, because we rode it so many times that, we often went when there wasn't lines. But when we were riding it midday, a gentleman actually lost his swim trunks.
Oh, no!
So I thought you would appreciate that, because Just Pamela said, for wearing a one piece just for that reason. Luckily, he actually had underwear on underneath his swim trunks. Oh. So when the swim trunks flew off and went to the back of the flow rider, he was still covered and clothed essentially, but everyone went bananas, just like, oh my God, and it's like, well, he's not like naked, guys. Like, it's okay. It's just as if he was wearing a Speedo, but it was just the sheer fact of like, this is so funny. And we had like the great bird's eye view on the tower of the stairs watching it all. And people were just like, this guy lost his underwear.
Oh, that's what I love about cruising. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, did you have like favorite things to do on each ship? What were some of your favorite points that you had on each ship?
Favorites. Well, if we're going to speak of activities, I think the ropes course was a lot of fun despite being absolutely terrified. So there's a really extensive ropes course on the Norwegian Getaway. It's elevated up in the aft of the ship, and you're climbing all above the rest of the sports deck. Beneath you is mini golf and other activities down here, and you're climbing up above them. But what makes it terrifying for me, even though I would consider myself like somewhat of a daredevil, is they have a plank. So you walk the plank, and it is a little like, I don't know, not a 2x4, but a board that extends off of the side of the ship. And
Wow.
there's only enough room for 1 foot, so you walk one in front of the other. I was terrified.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing.
I was so scared, and it was actually really windy, just kind of like how you mentioned the zip line was windy for you. I was literally like, I don't know why some things scare me and other things don't, but I was petrified.
Well, yeah, walking the plank, it has always been something that people have tried to avoid, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was so much fun. Okay, did you have any least favorite parts about the ships?
I think my least favorite about the Norwegian was just that it was high season. The fact that the ship was full, and it was a larger ship too. So oftentimes when we were in the buffet and things like that, like you could tell while we are on a larger ship, there's a lot of people. So like it's not even really like a bad negative, but it was just like there was often times where we had a really hard time finding a place to eat for like breakfast or lunch when we went to the buffet. I was traveling with my parents, and one of us would go and try and find a table, and then you wouldn't be able to find them because it's like, oh, we'll go look over here, and then you're on this. It was just, that was like the only thing that it was just there. I wish there was more seating, but really, like, I don't think more seating would necessarily help that much because you wouldn't be able to move around the tables then. It was just peak season, and it's not even that people bother me. It was just, it was kind of full, but, and still enjoyed it.
Well, that's why I was impressed with the Oasis because, that's the biggest ship we've ever been on. And, we're talking 6,000 guests and 2,000 crew. This was a huge ship. And now the first day, of course, everybody's getting on the ship and they go straight to the Windjammer, to the buffet. And so, the line was long, but they had so many other choices, and they had the pizza place, and then they had a little deli, and then they had the park cafe. And so at Central Park, and it was just so many other choices that were free. This is all included in your price. And so I was really, really impressed. Of course, we could eat pizza all week long. So we ate so much pizza, but yeah, because, every 2 hours you have to eat on a cruise. That's like a rule. So
You have to, otherwise they kick you overboard. It's a must.
it's just part of the bylaws, I think. But anyway, but other than that first day, the Windjammer was really, I was impressed. We were always able to find a table. there was always a waiter coming around and asking you, if you needed anything. We actually, you know, hubby would go up to the buffet and I'd wait on him to get back, and a waiter would come and bring me my drink, before he ever even got back.
Yeah, that's
So,
fantastic. I love
that
that.
is service, and on a ship that big with that many people, I mean, I was really, really impressed. And they had really good music too. They played 80s music, so I enjoyed that. 70s and 80s and some 90s music in there. So I was just really, really impressed with the Oasis of the Seas and the Windjammer and how they did that. Now, did you have like a favorite on which ship you liked better?
Overall or in another
On
category?
these two, just these two.
Overall, though.
Yeah.
Overall, I think the Navigator, just because it had so many fun changes. I mean, the sheer excitement of it coming out of dry dock with the incredible refurbishment, the pool deck, just everything was so fresh, so clean, so brand new. And, being some of the first people to experience it, I mean, that just puts the excitement level to another notch, because you're like, everything's new, everything's so exciting, and it really just amps it up. So that has like a really unfair advantage, but that way, it comes out on top.
Yes, I really enjoyed your video of your cabin. It was like you're on a brand new ship. Everything
Yeah.
looked so fresh and new. I know it smelled fresh and new, and that's always so exciting, to have that new car smell, at a cruise.
Yeah. I even noticed that on the first day when we got in the elevators, I could smell the new carpet in the elevators. I was like, where am I? This is incredible. The fact that you could smell carpet, like, I don't know, it's that new car smell of like,
It
okay,
is.
like I'm the first one to wipe my greasy paws all over this. Yay.
Yay! Yeah, we always enjoy things that are fresh and new and clean. And
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed with our cabin on the Oasis of the Seas. We had the balcony cabin, and I was a little confused because we never could find our cabin steward. Like,
Oh,
yeah, and even my neighbor across the hall, she was like, "Have you seen our cabin steward?" And I was like, no, but he was like a ninja. He would clean our cabin like twice a day. I was like, that's why you didn't see him loitering in the halls, I guess, because he's cleaning. He's after it. And
yeah.
I was just really, really impressed on how the cleanliness of the whole ship, but especially our cabin. I was
Mhm.
very, very excited to see that. So,
Yeah.
and like the bathrooms, and I really like how they had the bathrooms, like in the public areas.
Hmm.
They always had the bathrooms right next to like the elevators, so you didn't have to go around the ship. I know a lot of
Yeah.
times with Carnival, we had to go around the ship trying to find a restroom. They're
Right.
always hidden somewhere. You always have to ask. You can't find them.
Right.
And so these were always right there by the elevators, and they were always super nice and clean. And so I was really, really impressed with that. And because I thought, with a larger ship like that, some of those little details like that may go to the wayside, but they didn't. I mean, they were on it. So I was very, very impressed. All
Right.
right. So anything else you want to add about your trip?
Well, I think so Tweety has asked a question. She wants to know if I felt that the staff was comfortable and familiar with the ship and their roles. Um, I would say I had a little bit different experiences on the two. I would say that it felt I had a lot of new people on their contract on Norwegian. You know when you go to a restaurant and you can tell that the waitress or waiter is new, where they're rusty in a sense. I felt that on Norwegian. The wait staff didn't feel like well-oiled machines. only experienced this though when we were in the main dining room. The rest we were in the specialty dinings, so they have more experience. But then on Navigator, yeah, I had a great room steward, and yes, they did feel like they were knew what they were doing, and were friendly and helpful. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else has other questions that I happen to miss. Raphael was mentioning some of the other activities that we participated in. I think Pusa Studios wanted to know types of activities that are on cruise ships and that we enjoy. So yeah, trivia, sexiest men, always funny. But aside from like the Broadway shows and things like that, there's always like crafts and fun things going on. Oh, you know who? Was it just Pamela or Nurse Nancy had asked me about the Norwegian crafts? I think that was during a live stream. And I think it was Nurse Nancy, actually. If you're still in the chat, let me know. But it was like crafts of like just fun things that you can create, DIY things. So yes, they did have them. It's funny when you look at the planners and the cruise planners and you notice certain things that you're appealed to, but I've never really done a whole lot of crafts, so I just don't pay attention to that. But yeah, they did have those, and I can share that with you later if you're interested in knowing like what types to compare and contrast to your experience as well. Okay, perfect. She said she was asking. That's awesome.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, now would be the time to put those in the chat so we can go over those with you. And while we're seeing if we have any other questions, what do you have coming up next, Alanna?
Oh, I think I missed another one, or I don't know. I'm getting added at. Okay. My next cruise is to be determined. You'll have to stay tuned for a trip announcement, possibly in the near future. So stay tuned for that. I don't have anything on the books yet, but I'm interested to know, Cheri, do you participate in the app called Shipmate? And then does anyone in chat also participate in that as well? It's an app that you use to like keep track of your cruises and things like that. And I'm just curious if that is something that you all use. I've downloaded the app, but I haven't used it, and I don't really know how it works. So I'm just curious if you guys find it fun, because a lot of times you'll like post your upcoming cruises in there, and it's like a schedule. So
yeah,
I'm interested to hear.
I had Shipmate at one time. I had a hard time figuring it out, and I really didn't have any, contact friends on there. So now that I've met, you all in the cruising community, some of you guys, maybe, it'll be a little different, if I try again.
Yeah.
But yeah, my phone is getting a little older now. My contract, whatever it is, I don't guess it's a contract anymore, but whatever it is nowadays,
yeah,
it's almost up. So I've had it for a little while, and so maybe that's why I was experiencing some issues with it. But we'll see. We can try again.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're due for an upgrade, and yeah, why not? If you're due for one, you can upgrade. So I think Pirate Princess Red wants to know about like what types of crafts. Off the top of my head, I can't remember so much, but I have a paper here that I can talk and like pull out an example, because like I said, I'm not one to do that many crafts, so I didn't make it to any of those crafts. I try and be crafty and do DIY stuff, and oh, gosh, if you watch any of the other like vlogs where I try and do crafts, it's terrible. Okay, so here's one. I just pulled out the Norwegian, they call it the Freestyle Daily, and arts and crafts was one of the main highlights of the day. So definitely they have a lot of them, considering it made like front page news. And origami flower box was the main highlight of that day. So just fun things you can make, and it's not even like just for kids, adults as well. So there's an example of some of the stuff that they have on Norwegian. I will have to add you guys on Shipmate. That is awesome that I see a bunch of you on there. I got to play around with it a little bit more. So yeah. Oh, we have another question from Nurse Nancy. She wants to know, how did you get started in cruising?
Go ahead, Alanna.
Oh, I wanted you to go first.
Oh, okay. My answer is easy because my first cruise was whenever I first got through with my travel agent training. So I did travel agent training in Miami, Florida, and I hate to tell you what year it was, but it was 1987. So that was my first cruise. And so kind of at the end of our training, we did like just a 1-day cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. So it was kind of like our graduation cruise, I guess you'd call it. And so it was so amazing, so awesome. You know, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And then, you know, after we, you know, were married and everything and had a family and all that, did all that. And then my hubby always said that he, you know, would never fly, would never cruise, never do anything like that. You know, he was, you know, he's into hunting and fishing and all of that. And so he has his own channel, by the way, if anybody wants to check that out. Yeah, we do fishing and hunting and hiking and all of that over there on his. It's called Bucks Outdoors. But anyway, so I finally got him on an airplane, you know, and it was so exciting. He absolutely loved it. And now he sits at the window and just takes pictures and videos out the window the whole time. Aww. So when I finally got him on a cruise ship, again, fell in love with it. You know, he was just so excited. And so I'm like, yes, you know, it worked. My influence on him, you know, finally worked. So we've been going on cruises and all inclusives and Disney. Our next trip is to Disney to see the Star Wars land. He's a big Star Wars fan.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's how I got into cruising and finally got hubby to get into cruising. And so now you go ahead.
Well, I think my first cruise, well, not I think, I know. My first cruise was on Carnival with my parents, and I was just a preteen. So my first experience was, you know, a long time ago, enjoying the kids clubs on Carnival and, you know, all that fun stuff. That's how I got into it. And in recent years, you know, picked up with doing it a lot more. So I've done quite a bit of family cruises as well. We did, oh, there you go. Raphael said the year there. First cruise was 2002. Yep. That was just my parents and I. And then we had a nice little reunion, if you will, of just my parents and I for the Norwegian one that we went on. So that was fun. And I did a cruise for my high school graduation where we went to the Mediterranean and cruised. And so just fun things, and you know, I enjoy it, so we're having fun with it. Awesome. So that's how we got started.
Well, our time is just about up here, but I just want to thank you so much, Alanna, for coming on, and also thank you so much for my Disney pin. You guys, Alanna has some great giveaways on her channel, and she had these, and then she had you had some art from some of the Disney Imagineers. I mean, oh my gosh, you know, that is so amazing.
Thank you, Cheri. I'm glad you enjoy it and you're having fun with it. Enjoying the pin. That's a Disney Cruise Line pin. So yeah, I'm glad it went home to a cruise loving fan. So so glad you enjoy it.
Absolutely. And we are looking so much forward to many, many more videos from you and to see all of your adventures. So I'm sure I'll have you back and we'll talk about some more of your adventures in the future.
Perfect. I can't wait, and I can't wait to have you on my channel as well. So thank you again, everyone in the chat, for chatting along with us and asking us your questions, and appreciate you being here. And oh, I'm so sorry we see D90. You're late, but good morning. Thanks for being here. But thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun chatting about our experiences.
Yes. And like I said, I know we have so much more to look forward to with your channel. So best of luck with your channel. I know you're growing like crazy. I think you're almost pushing the 5,000 mark there.
Yeah, growing like crazy is the best way to put it. Catching a little wildfire here. So I'm very happy and very blessed, and just so thankful that, you know, it the direction it's going in, and really excited for the future. And likewise with yours, I know fun things are coming up your way. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us.
That's right. We'll just ride that wave and yeah, on the high seas. Absolutely. So
Exactly.
all right, gang. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and helping me celebrate my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. I love each and every one of you, and you all have a blessed and magical day, and I will see you on the beaches of the world. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Alanna.
Thank you.